Hi. It's like a little after midnight and I'm feeling kind of pooped. The night is still young though, because I have a couple more sort of rituals that I want to move through. Hot shower, journaling, um, and but I wanted to make this video because I had just like the most incredible day. And in some ways, the irony of that happening in what is such a, like, there's a lot of heavy emotions right now during, this time, this state of the world. A lot of important conversations that we're having that are on the table, that are, like, again, important, necessary, that revolve around race, oppression, gender inequality, you know, and so I'm really proud of us, for fucking talking about shit. But when you throw in the pandemic, you throw in COVID, and which is like, physical distancing and, isolations, lockdowns, this fear of getting close, which is like super valid. It's not a make-believe fear. It comes from an honest place, as it relates to this virus and trauma in general, right? A fear of getting close is something that I think many of us live with, for more reasons than just the pandemic. But you mix that in to what's going on right now, and it can make heavy conversations a lot harder to have. And yet today, I feel like I'm going on the 24th hour of having like a lot of deep connection. And I want to acknowledge that. I think that it's really, really powerful. I mean, my day started off with my 20-year-old brother is visiting from Toronto, and he slept at my place, and we woke up and just like nothing really happened. But the fact that he was here was super special. And we did our thing, we got ready, and then he joined me in the park for a yoga class that I led, and he, amongst a sea of 20-25 people, shared time and space with me, and this practice that I hold so dear to my heart, that has been such an essential part of my own healing journey. And I got to, guide a group of folks through, 75 minutes of breath and movement and feeling that land in the body and on the spirit. And, you know, it was like with strangers and friends and longtime students and students who took one class with me before the pandemic and like were like, oh, I'm so glad you're doing this again. Um, um, and like that's a gift that I want to acknowledge, was the fact that I got to like see and be seen. And, you know, and then from there, like class ends and there's like, you know, lingering and chit-chatting, and then sort of continuing to flow through the day and having ice cream with like my number one closest and also my sponsor, who happens to be my sponsor, um, and um, and and a friend who, like, before all of the pandemic happened, was someone that like we shared class together, and now through this time, like we deep dive into many conversations about life, um, and the beauty in that is that, and also that that's been happening for me with so many of you, um, and so like that's a gift. And then my sponsor and we went for coffee and like met a stranger sitting on the bench outside of Prado, and then like, you know, one thing leads to another and we're having like a meditation session around polarities. And like meditation therapy, in a way, like in a way for sure, um and like and I mean, like, really, we did a like, I don't even know, like, Daniel, you'll have to sort of uh, hit me up and give me the words to describe what we did today. But Daniel, being the stranger who is now a friend for sure, who guided us through this meditation therapy session, like somatic, emotional, like mental, spiritual, hours of like an actual exercise, and then again deep dive, like the conversations that the ongoing conversation, one conversation with many layers, many levels, that we explored around the relationship we have with self, and how the work that we do here has a direct like cause and effect to the way that we connect here between you and I, you and someone else and me, right? And the webbing is just like is truly never ending. I mean, like the possibility to be close, and the ways in which we do that, we can do that, are truly endless. you know, and my day goes on, right? Like, and my day goes on, and I carry that through, um, to into a conversation with then my father, and then again seeing my baby brother, um, and then talking to my lover on the phone, and I just like you know, what is the point that I'm making? Do I even have a point right now? I'm not sure. I felt like this need to make a little video. I kind of like, it's hard. I these videos aren't like really my jam, though, you know, I do them. Um, they're not my jam because I'm just like digressing here, but they like touch on an insecurity of, like, you know, when I write and I share, I don't filter, but I can refine for sure. And then when I make these videos, I'm like, well, you know, we're 11 minutes in right now, and either I'm gonna like jump off and restart because, yeah, I didn't say it just right. And I'm sure, like me, we're neither of us are probably sure exactly what it is that I'm trying to say. Hopefully I'm getting there if I get there. But yeah, making these videos, like, they can get into my head because I'm trying to say something here, and then I'm also having like a awkward human moment at the same time, and I'm digressing because I need to call myself out on it so that I can just like like land again and say what it is that I'm trying to say, which is just that, like, um ah like, today was super healing, for me. And I hope, and I feel, that I'm not speaking out of turn when I say that I don't think I'm the only one, that I got to share a lot of moments in the flesh today with, many incredible beings. Like, I am looking at you right now when I say that. And then those of you who weren't in the flesh, like on an energetic spiritual level, like 100%, you were with me. And we've talked, and we will continue to, dialogue with one another and connect to each other. And I'm so grateful for that. Um, and I guess I just wanted to come on here and say that, like, it's really imperative, you know, like, more now than ever, like, the time for healing is now. Like, the time for us to get, like, to dig inside. We use the word excavate today, like, to do like a little bit, a lot of some self excavation, to be uncomfortable as you drop into your human, and look at, like, the wounds that you may be carrying around. Like, the time to do that work, like, is now. It's essential, right? Because what we do here, I'm getting real passionate about this now, but what we do here, like, this relationship that you're building with yourself is, I mean, like, hate begets hate, right? And there's many examples we can use. But I want to make it really personal in the fact that, like, and from personal experience, what I'm about to say, I come by it honestly, is that, the way that we treat ourselves, the relationship we have with ourselves, it translates outward. And I'm not saying that, insecurities and, the complexities around, like using really like heavy, but like self-hate or loneliness or feelings of inadequacy, they're never, ever, ever, ever permission for anyone to abuse you, ever. So let's clear that up, number one, right? But how we treat ourselves and the value we put on the relationship that we have and are building with ourselves, it does influence the way that we give and receive in relationship to others, whether that be stranger, friend, family, lover, and like tack on whatever else you want to tack on there. And so for me, today was just like a powerful reminder of of that, very simply. And that like no matter what, we affect each other, but and I said this earlier, like no matter what, we affect each other, but that we can affect each other consciously. Like we can really make some decisions around that if we want to. And I think, it's important that, and like it's not easy to, face oneself, because like I have guilt and shame, like, and regret, and like I live with that too. And like the only way that I can do anything about some of that stuff is like for me to look at it and get real, for us to just to get real about where we're coming from and what we can do about it, how we can heal and then heal. And like that, it truly is a type of activism, I think, for me. The personal journey of the work that we can do from the inside out, and a willingness to be vulnerable enough to also invite others in to help us do that work, and in turn a willingness to be available for others to call upon us to be a part of their work, their healing, their like as we are all trying to reset, reframe, restart, the rebuild of how we come, of how we come together, right? Gosh, I hope that I'm making sense. Like, I mean, it's hard, right? Because like I had a day and I want to share because today impacted me so much. Like, and as I move from this, place, as I close this, I'm standing in a gateway right now, and I'm closing the door, so to speak, on this chapter of my life, and like, and then walking into like, what's next, and I'm just standing in between those two places right now, and like, whoa, wow, like what a wild experience that is. Um, um, and I just like, I wish I had the words to explain like what is happening for me, like on a cellular level, and then and every other way. So I don't know if this is translating. I think the message here is one, thank you. And also, I urge you. So thank you for your willingness to connect with me. And I urge you to stay open to connect with yourself and with each other, all of us, to keep that, to hold on to that. And and that, where we're coming from and where we're going, it's all important, but like also this time now, right? Also this time now, that this time now too is also the time of your life. And thank you to another friend who shared that with me, that beautiful reminder, that like, you know, we don't get nowhere. We get nowhere if not for this time now too. And so to just like hang out here for a little bit, and whatever this time now in your life has to offer you, to just like have a lot of compassion for self, so that you can plant the seed. We can plant the seed to have a lot of compassion for others. That there's much work to be done, and maybe there always will be, but that growth and change and evolution is just, it is inevitable. And so to like honor truly the person that you are in this moment. In your blooming of constantly becoming your most authentic self. I think that if we all just gave ourselves permission, we talked about this today, we really talked about this today, but if we all just gave ourselves permission to just like be truly sincere, um, you know, and like and sincere to like who you are, like authentically you know, your most essential self. Like if we gave ourselves permission to like to be ourselves, quite, you know, putting it in like the most simplest terms, um, then I think like the cause and effect of that would be that we give others the same permission to do that for themselves. Because like this is not a competition. Like I am not better than you, and you are not better than me. Like we are here together. And I will say that over and over and over again, because I like it's just so important that that we like share space. And if we weren't trying to like one up, you know, and unfortunately, like living in a capitalist society, I think that the system sets us up to always sort of be trying to get ahead of the other. Like it's hard to find peace in a system that values money over life, generally, always. That's a real bummer note to end on, right? Now I gotta like bring it back around again. But you know, like that is just like, that is the truth. Sometimes the truth is a bummer. So I guess the way I'm going to bring it back around again is to just say thank you, because that's really what this video is to be about, is supposed to be about in this particular moment, is just like, I had a day where I was reminded like in the beauty of humanity, and how we can just like, we have these moments where like the potential to really unite is just so realized that it just like injects like an abundance of love and faith and hope into this being, at least. And so like, so thank you, because like I feel like honored that I got to have one of those days. So that's a gift. Anyways, I'm gonna end it there, because that's like a 30-minute ramble. But just like, I love you. And yeah, and I love you. So I hope that lands. And once again, thank you for seeing me and for letting me see you. I love you.